When I first started wearing a Fitbit, the fitness tracker recommended I take 10,000 steps a day. Now, even with multiple dog walks, I usually fail to reach that lofty goal, except on days where I ran a few miles. But a new study shows that people don't really need that many steps. In this video, you'll learn the number of daily steps you really need to help live longer. Here's a hint, it's a lot less than 10,000. You'll also learn how walking helps your health, how much time you should spend walking each day, and tips for making your walks easier. Hi, I'm Jeff Hoyt, Editor-in-Chief of SeniorLiving.Org. In case you somehow missed the title of this video, only 7,000 daily steps are needed to help you live a longer and healthier life. That's 30% less than people have been led to believe. 10,000 steps? Go take a hike. Now, to be fair, 7,000 steps is still about 3 miles, depending on your stride. Not exactly a walk in the park, but easier than the between 4 and 5 miles that 10,000 steps require. Come to think of it, I take it back. 7,000 steps could easily be a walk in the park. The latest data relies on 2 different studies with similar conclusions. In the first, more than 2,000 volunteers aged 38 to 50 wore accelerometers back in 2005 to 2006, and then they were followed for many years after. Some of these people died. The researchers found that participants taking at least 7,000 steps per day, compared to those taking fewer steps, had a 50 to 70% lower risk mortality. Among whites, mortality rates fell 63%, while the drop was even higher for African Americans, 70%. Deaths fell 58% among men and a whopping 72% among women. Now, according to the report, taking more than 10,000 steps per day was not associated with further reduction in mortality risk. We saw that you can get a lot of benefit from 7,000 steps, said study author Amanda Palick, an assistant professor of kinesiology at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. So for those who are getting, say, 4,000 steps, getting to 5,000 steps could have a benefit and then working your way up. While that study started with middle-agers and watched them grow old, or not, another study specifically focused on senior women walking. More than 16,000 women took part, wearing accelerometers to track their steps for a week between 2011 and 2015. The subjects, who averaged 72 years of age, walked for an average of 5,499 steps per day. Now, the women were followed for years, and more than 500 of them passed away. The researchers found that the subjects who managed as few as 4,400 steps a day reduced their risk of premature death by about 40%, when compared to the women completing 2,700 or fewer steps a day. That means the women who walked more tended to live substantially longer than those who covered even less ground, even though they were walking less than half of the 10,000 daily steps often recommended. The risk for early death continued to drop among the women walking more than 5,000 steps a day, but benefits leveled out at about 7,500 daily steps. So once again, walking can help you live longer, but there's no need to shoot for 10,000 steps per day. Now, some of you may be thinking that even lowering the target to 7,000 steps per day is still unachievable. I admit it does take some time. If you walk briskly, it can take about 70 minutes to walk 7,000 steps. But here's more good news. The average American already walks 5,000 steps per day as part of their daily lives, and those count too. Those 60 and older tend to walk less than that. But by increasing your regular step count by just a few thousand additional steps per day, you can reach that 7,000 mark. Government guidelines recommend that adults get at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic physical activity, which works out to 22 minutes per day over 7 days. If you spend that time walking briskly, you could get your steps up to 7,000. Dr. William Krause, professor of medicine at Duke University, was a member of the 2018 Physical Activity Guidelines Advisory Committee that developed those guidelines. He recommends that patients aim for 7,000 to 13,000 steps a day to get the full benefits that exercise can offer. Now, I'm not a doctor, so you should consult with your physician before starting an exercise plan. Even if you don't regularly exercise, even if you rely on a cane, it should be safe for most people to start a walking program, unless you don't watch where you're going. Walking for exercise doesn't require specialized skills, training, or the purchase of equipment. Heck, if you're on the beach, you don't even need shoes. Unlike attending a scheduled class, walking offers flexibility. You can set your own pace. And as your fitness improves, you can increase that pace, along with the duration and the frequency. Regular activity, including walking, offers a number of health benefits, including a reduced risk of heart disease and stroke, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, and certain cancers. Other positive outcomes could include improving sleep and maintaining or losing weight. And for older adults, there's also maintaining their independence, reducing their risk of falls, and delaying the onset of cognitive decline and dementia. So lace up those Nikes and hit the road. Here's a few tips to get you started. Start at a pace that's comfortable for you. If you're breathing so hard you can't talk, slow down. You can always go faster later. Respect the round trip. If you want to walk for a mile, go for half a mile, then turn around and come home. Don't walk until you're too pooped to make it back. And after turning around, if you do make it home with time and energy to spare, you can always walk more. Schedule your walks in a calendar ahead of time and then stick to your schedule. Rain? Well, walking can be an inside activity as well. Lots of people do their walking in malls. Like misery, walking loves company. Walk with a friend, family, or even a dog. Now, if you don't have one, you can join a dog dad or dog mom and walk with them. Or volunteer to walk dogs at the local animal shelter. Now, if you are going it alone, bring some music with you. Just make sure you can still hear traffic sounds. Although you really don't need special equipment, it's nice to have a device that counts your steps or measures your distance. In fact, people who track their steps take an average of 2,500 more steps per day than those who don't. And many phones have this feature built in. If yours doesn't, or you don't carry a phone, consider getting an inexpensive pedometer to measure your steps. Then set a goal and stick to it. Walking up 5 flights of stairs, well, that may be beyond you. But how about walking down instead of taking the elevator? Try running errands by walking. Leave the car at home and walk to the store if you're only picking up an item or two. You'll be amazed at how satisfying that can be, and how satisfying adding more steps to your life can be. Don't forget, adding more steps to your life could add more years to your life. For products and services to help you age with ease, visit SeniorLiving.Org, where you can find and compare housing options for seniors, including in-home care, assisted living, nursing homes, and everything in between. And please join our community that's 30,000 strong and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks.